Hi, and Merry Christmas to you all, and Happy Holidays to you heathens. And don't forget, Happy Festivus for the rest of us. Check out Rand Paul's customary airing of grievances for those celebrating that wonderful holiday. Hi, and welcome to the Truth and Grace Counseling Christmas Special. My gift to you is talking about some upcoming changes with this channel. So, get on your ugly sweater like I do, get some hot cocoa, sit back and relax and enjoy. So today, I'm going to talk more about the Truth and Grace Counseling podcast. So this podcast is going to be the new direction of the channel. I want to share with you some of the ideas and structure behind this podcast. So this podcast is going to be a reflection both of myself and my practice, Truth and Grace Counseling. So I'm intentionally making this podcast a little bit more upbeat and optimistic. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to beat around the bush or sugarcoat things or make things seem like they're going well when they're really not. However, so much content is out there written for people that are conservative or Christian, and it's just centered around how bad things are going. Again, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of bad stuff going on, and I don't think it's a bad thing for us to recognize that fact. However, simply getting angry, simply getting upset, and staying there, that doesn't really do us any good. So this podcast, I want it to be a little bit more lighthearted, but even more so, I want it to be more focused on action. I just released a new purpose statement, and the end of this purpose statement is engage life faithfully. That is something that I aim to help all of my clients do, and it's something that I aim for those listening to my podcast to do as well, is to engage their life faithfully. It's really important that we don't just sit back, that we don't just get mad and disgusted with things and stop right there. So this podcast is going to be injected with lots of humor. I think humor is something that God gave us to kind of take the sting off of some bad stuff that happens in life. Humor's always been a big part of my life. Any of my friends or family know that I like to be a goofball. I like to laugh, kind of make fun of things, and that's a big part of the value system of Truth and Grace Counseling. When I work with my clients, yeah, there's important topics that we're not going to laugh about, but sometimes we gotta not take life so serious, and having a little bit of healthy dose of humor can actually help you as a client as well. So I'm gonna inject humor and really into every section of this podcast. So speaking of sections, there's going to be three main sections that are going to be involved in this podcast. The first section is called the water cooler. So I'm sure most of you have worked at jobs where you've had that big water cooler and it kind of goes bloop, 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 and you get those tiny little paper cups that you fill water in. And why I'm naming this intro section the water cooler is during those times at work, you gather together with your coworkers and you just kind of talk about things. You might, if it's a Monday, you might talk about what you did over the weekend. You might talk about things that are going on in your life, talk about the big game that just happened. Just various things happen at different places of employment around the water cooler. So this first section is going to be like that for me. I might bring in some personal stories. For instance, if I was to do one this week, I would probably talk about the fact that it was like 2 degrees outside last night or something ridiculous. So just things like that, random thoughts. I also might bring in some book recommendations, or if I've got a new product, or if there's a new TV show that I'm watching. Again, the sky's the limit. This section is going to always have something different. It won't look the same, but it's going to be, just kind of easing into the podcast, pretty low key, pretty relaxed. So that will be the first main section. Then The second section, this is the main entree. This is going to be the main part of the podcast. It's going to be where I have the big discussion. So the main theme of the podcast will be discussed in this second section. And because of this, this is the meat part of the podcast. So it is aptly named the meat section. So during this time, like I said, I'll talk about the main discussion topic, and sometimes this is just going to be me, kind of like some of the other some of the other episodes of that I've done on YouTube, or this might be an interview. I actually already have an interview taped that I will be showing at a later date. So I would love to have more podcast guests on. If you are interested in being on the show, or if you know somebody that might be interested, please send it my way. I would love to have some more interviews, some more guests on there. But like I said, it might just be me kind of talking about a certain discussion point. So this will be the main section. Again, it's still going to be injected with some humor, more lighthearted, but the big thing is during this meat section, I want that engagement. I want this to be left, whether I'm talking to a guest or if I'm talking about a subject, of what can we do about it? What is something that can be done? I do not want you to leave these segments thinking, well, that sucks, and then just leave it there. I want it to be focused on action. Then the last section of the podcast will be called The Last Word. So this will just be a real quick wrap up. I'll kind of wrap up what happened over the episode. Try to leave you with a real practical guide towards action. So if we're talking about, let's say being conservative in the workplace, I want to have a very practical guide. What can you do? How can you be more open about your political beliefs or your religious beliefs in the workplace? What might that look like? So that would be an example there of that last word. Again, just a little wrap up there. So those are going to be the three main sections. Now, I'm always open for feedback. So if we're going into this and you're like, hey, I have an idea here, why don't you try this for a section of the podcast? Let me know. I'm not going to guarantee that I'll use it, but I'm always looking for more feedback. And viewers that are interested in the show, I definitely want you to be involved. I want you to put your comments down in the comment section. Send me messages, ask questions, send me ideas, send me guests. I want this to be interactive. And in that last word segment, there'll be times that I'll ask certain questions or ask you to write something down in the comment section, because I want this to be engaging. I don't want this just to be me sitting saying my 2 cents and telling you to shut up. I'm not going to listen to you. I read all the comments and I take them serious. So I like to be upfront and honest with where I'm going with this podcast. I am going to let you know that I'm going to start dabbling in some affiliate marketing. So if you don't know what that means, basically it's when there is a link on there. Let's say I do a book recommendation and I put a link to said book. If you click on that link and then you buy the book, I get commissions based off of that. Now, there's a reason why I'm being upfront with this, because I do not want to sacrifice quality of this podcast. I don't want to be a sleazy salesman. I don't want to do any gotcha type of things. I want to be upfront with it. So my promise to you is that I am never going to recommend a product that I don't believe in. I don't operate that way. I think that it is very disingenuous for me to do so. So I want to offer products that are helpful for you, and oftentimes will be things that I use myself, and just want to share that experience with you. The other thing with commissions is I'm not going to be over the top. I'm not going to spam the description with just description or with affiliate links everywhere. Same thing with my website. I want to do it fairly sparsely, and then I also want to be upfront. And the discussion tab, I will leave, hey, these are affiliate tabs here, affiliate URLs. Same thing on my website if I post one. again, I want to be upfront with this. I do not want this to be scammy or come across the wrong way. If I start growing enough and get actual advertisers on the show that are actually buying an ad, same rules apply. I am not going to have, I don't think they would do this anyways, but for instance, I'm not going to have Starbucks. They're not going to be an advertiser on the show. I don't think that would happen anyways. And they don't really align with a lot of the values that I have here at Truth and Grace Counseling. But I would be interested in a coffee shop that they donate things for missions, for instance, or they donate to pro-life type of causes, which I might have a little bit more to speak on that here in a few weeks. But again, I want these advertisers to be a reflection of my values, reflection of the values of my company, and I do not want to sacrifice that for a little bit of money. And I want your feedback on that too. That if I have a link down there and you like, oh, Johnny, I don't know if you heard about this. There's this problem over here with that company. Let me know. Again, my name is on this, well, my company's name is on this podcast, and I want it to be represented well. So please let me know if you have an issue with any affiliate links that I have or any advertisements, because I want this to be something that is helpful. I want these links to be something that could to help lives, to help you engage your life faithfully. I don't want them to be spammy or something that's not going to help you. So these episodes, I plan for them to be somewhere around 15 to 30 minutes or so in length. That might vary depending on the topic or depending on the guest. I would ultimately love for this podcast to come out weekly. That is my ultimate game, or my ultimate goal, is to make it weekly. However, at this stage in life, this stage in progress with Truth and Grace Counseling, I'm not ready for that. So I plan on releasing the first episode sometime in the middle of January. Here pretty soon. I will let you know an exact date. But for now, it is going to be every other week. So 2 times a month, I will release it, and I'll let you know what that flow will be. So I would like it to be something like the 1st and 15th of every month or something like that. I don't have that lined out just yet, but when I do, I'll let you know so you know exactly what day to expect these. Keeping it every other week for now, again, just with my work life, with family life. I want to provide good content. I don't want to provide rush content, and I don't want to jeopardize the relationship I have with my family members and with my work to rush out subpar products. So for now, it will be every other week, and I will let you know as that date gets closer what that schedule will look like. Again, I aim for this to be engaging. I aim for this to be well produced. I want your feedback. If you have things that you disagree with the direction of the angle, you don't like some of the visuals, please let me know. I want to hear that feedback. Another thing I wanted to mention, just as far as the structure, I know that this is on my YouTube channel, so this podcast is going to be a visual podcast. Some of you, if you haven't really listened to podcasts much, podcasts are typically just audio. So if you go on Apple Podcasts, for instance, all you're going to get is audio. You get on your headphones, get it on your phone or wherever, and you just listen audio-wise. So that's primarily what people think of with podcasts. But I want to make this engaging both for the audio audience, but also for the visual audience. So for those that are on YouTube, I plan to make this kind of visually engaging. So there'll be video with it. I'll try to have some different artwork and things like that that will pop up, kind of like you've seen in some of my videos already. So again, I've really aimed to make this a very well-made product, both audio-wise and visual-wise. So I'm going to wrap this up for this wonderful Christmas special today. If you're looking forward to this podcast, please like this video, share it, subscribe. If you disagree with it, you think this is a dumb idea, still, well, I mean, you can like it if you want to, or dislike it, but comment, let me know. If you are a troll and you hate my guts, comment, let me know. I'm open to any and all feedback. If you're watching this, hearing this, and you're interested in having counseling with me at Truth and Grace Counseling, I've got my link down below about my practice. I would love to talk to you more, and I also offer a free consultation. If you live in Oklahoma or Texas, I would love to chat more with you about that. So, with that being said, I wish you all Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Again, for you heathens out there, Happy Holidays. I'll give you that. And Happy Festivus for the rest of us. You all take care.